Assalamu alaikum. Hormatli talabalar. Today, inshallah, we are going to continue our lessons about marketing and hospitality and tourism. Our chapter today about the customer reality. Before we talk about customer reality, you have to know about the relationship marketing, the relationships between the firms and the customers and the distributors, suppliers, dealers, all the parties in the trade issues and so on. So relationship marketing involves creating and maintaining healthy long-term relationships with customers and distributors, dealers and suppliers, and from one side and the firm from the other, or the company from the other side. But it is important for us in this chapter, the customer relationships can be improved by handling consumer objections effectively, communicating regularly with the customers, providing reliable after-sales services, educating the consumers, and so on. Similarly, with the distributors and suppliers and the dealers, also can be served better by offering attractive payments and creating healthy competition, encouraging participation, offering incentives, and so on. So the steps in the relationship marketing: to identify the important customers, to assign the relationship managers to customers to provide better service, prepare a detailed job descriptions for all relationship managers, develop customer relationship plans and programs, good communication, and coordinate and review relationship managers' performance. The brand building through relationship marketing, according to David Acker, broke down brand building into the following components. First, the brand loyalty. This is a measure of the extent to which a customer is attached to a brand and how likely is the customer to switch to another brand. Also, the brand awareness. This is a potential customer's ability to identify or recall a brand as being part of a product category. The perceived quality. This is a customer's perception of overall product or service quality with respect to its intended purpose and in consideration of alternatives. And finally, the brand associations. This refers to anything that links a customer's mind to a brand. Such associations are varying levels of strength. An association can result from a celebrity or person or lifestyle or geographic area, various product attributes, customer benefits, specific application or use, and any other intangible concept. Then we have now the managing the customer's emotions. Managing customers' emotions is the next frontier for companies seeking competitive advantage in the marketplace. The value in this action lies in creating emotional bonds of loyalty between a company and its customers and the strong influence of emotions on our memories. Second, controlling customer emotions is very important. Anything negative or lower than expectations can be damaging to an organization. So let's now talk about the customer relationship management. The basic measures of the CRM or customer relationship management. The final stage of a CRM project involves the evaluation of its performance. Two sets of parameters can be measured: whether the project has been delivered on time and under the allocated budget. Time and budget. So the evaluation involves the comparison of business outcomes with the project objectives. At the beginning of the project, you have objectives, then you compare them with the outcomes of the project or the business. It determines whether the desired results have been achieved or not. So quality equals the customer's perception minus the customer's expectations. At the beginning, the customer expect something, and then he perceive another thing or another a product or service or whatever. So the difference between the customer's expectations and the customer perception, this is what is called the quality. So there is some service quality gaps. Service quality gaps refer to the difference between the expected level of service and the service actually delivered. For example, customers may expect to wait for 30 minutes to see their doctor. However, they may have to wait for more than 40 minutes. The same thing in the hotels, in the reception, in the room, in the air flights, and so on. The gap model, also known as the 5 gaps model of service quality, presents an important customer satisfaction framework. So customer loyalty is associated with attracting the right customers, convincing them to buy often and in larger quantities, as well as adding more people to the firm's customer base. Okay, so the following are some of the ways by which customer loyalty can be built. First, keeping in touch with customers using email marketing, sending thank you cards, and more. So, second, treating the employees well so that they treat the customers well. Third, taking measures to show that the firm cares and also remembering customer preferences. Fifth, rewarding customers for choosing the firm over its competitors. And the last thing is building the firm by truly caring about customers and finding means to make customers happier and delighted. So, to sum up, firms must build customer loyalty by treating people in the manner in which they want to be treated. We have what's called the matrix, Walker loyalty matrix. There is the attitude and behavior. The Walker loyalty matrix adapts a scientifically proven approach to the theory of customer loyalty. It helps understand the 2 dimensions of true customer loyalty by providing a practical solution, the 2 dimensions being customer behavior and the attitudes that support this behavior. So, first, Walker loyalty matrix is constructed such that the 2 axes represent the 2 dimensions of loyalty, that is, attitude and behavior. The 4 quadrants that formed can be defined as follows. First, the truly loyal customer. These kind of customers have a strong intention of staying loyal to the firm. Okay, they have a positive attitude towards the firm and like working. They are very likely to increase their spending and recommend the business to others. This is the truly loyal customers. Second, we have the accessible. These customers have favorable attitude with respect to the firm. However, they do not intend to continue their association. Given the old situation where the attitude and the intention contradict, often a very small percentage of customers fall under this category. Third, trapped customers, or these customers show a strong intention of continuing business with the firm. However, they are not very happy about it. They feel trapped in the relationship. This is a common situation among firms who look customers into long-term contracts for product services that lack a suitable substitute or for which switching is very difficult. So they are trapped. Fourth is high risk. As the name suggests, these customers neither have the intention to return nor have a healthy attitude about their relationship with the firm. Generally, they are halfway through to stop being associated with the firm. Not only will they no longer be a customer, but will also talk poorly about the firm in the marketplace. Now we have the concept of the customer retention. Successful customer retention efforts indicate how a company or a brand understands and meets its customers' needs. Customers' retention reflects the state of mind that customers have about a company and its products or services when their expectations have been met or exceeded. So this state reflects the lifetime of the product or service experience. We have some benefits for customer retention as follows. First, it reduces the acquisition costs, increases the client base, repurchasing, increases turnover, makes relationships profitable, creates word of mouth publicity. There are some strategies for customer retention as customer complaint management. Customer complaint management, how a firm, a company can manage the customer's complaints. It is an important defensive marketing strategy that helps retain the customers by pleasing them, in contrast to the offensive marketing strategy that focus on acquiring new customers. Second strategy, service recovery strategy. Service recovery strategy. Service failure is almost predictable, and it is crucial that organizations employ suitable service recovery strategies to win over upset customers. Service recovery strategies including the following. First, complaint tracking, prompt action, providing detailed explanations, developing relationships, learning from recovery experiences. Third, we have the managing customer waiting strategy. Managing the customer waiting strategy. Customer waiting management is among the most important components of customer retention. Strategy for customer waiting management include the following. First, a service organization can cut costs and improve profitability by using efficient customer waiting management strategies. Costs are associated with both a customer waiting in line and the addition of new counters to reduce service time. Also, waiting time could be reduced by planning and monitoring the customer's entire visit and capturing data and information to each point of contact, such as interactions with staff or use of self-services points. We have an example for customer retention. Talk about an example also about Suzuki Maruti, this Japanese brand of cars, and the reason for launching Nexa showrooms that are talking about the customer waiting strategy and so on. So we talk about the example for Suzuki Maruti when we talk about the product life cycle. Now we are talking about market or customer retention. Nexa, the showroom of the Suzuki Maruti cars. Nexa is the premium distribution channel of Maruti Suzuki. Nexa branded dealerships were launched in July 2015 for displaying and selling premium Maruti Suzuki cars such as S-Cross and Baleno. The Nexa concept aims to improve the service experience of buyers of premium vehicles. This helps Maruti retain those customers who typically buy a Maruti as their first car but do not upgrade to a premium car by the same company. As of April 2016, Nexa accounted for 8% of Maruti Suzuki total annual sales, and in the coming year, its share is expected to be in double digits. The company intends to grow the Nexa network to over 250 outlets by 2017. So this is a way of a customer retention. The service recovery. Service recovery. A service failure refers to service performance that fails to meet customers' expectations. When service fails to meet or not make the best performance to meet the customer's expectations, so we have a service failure. Service recovery refers to the systematic efforts made by the firm. So the firm should make some efforts to rectify service failure, to recover, to fix, and retain a customer's goodwill again. So service recovery plays an important role in achieving, restoring customer satisfaction and by the customer. So components of effective service recovery system, we have the do the job right at the first place, okay? Plus effective complaint handling. When the customer have any complaints, you have to handle this complaint effectively. Both together give you the increased satisfaction and loyalty of customers. We know about doing the job right at the first time, but what if there is any complaints? So this is the important part here, the effective complaint handling. How? To identify the service complaint. To identify the service complaint from the customer. How? By conducting research, monitor the complaints, develop complaints as opportunity culture, and so on. Then resolve complaints effectively by developing effective system and training in complaint handling. Then learn from the recovery experience. Conduct root cause analysis and so on. After all this, close the loop via feedback so you can do the job right the first time. We have some principles for effective service recovery system. First, make it easy for customers to give feedback. Complaint barriers or inconvenience, difficult to find the right complaint procedure and the effort to make feedback easy and convenient and so on. Also the doubtful payoff, how to deal with this by reassure customers that their feedback will be taken seriously and will pay off. Unpleasantness, this is a complaint, fear of being treated rudely, being hassled and feeling embarrassed. A strategy for dealing with this complaint, make providing feedback a positive experience, thank customers for their feedback, train service employees not to make customers feel uncomfortable, allow anonymous feedback. So this is how to make it easy for customers to give feedback, to make it convenient, comfortable, pleasant, there is no problem about it. Second principle of effective service recovery system, to enable effective service recovery. Enable effective system service recovery. First, service recovery should be proactive. Recovery procedures should be planned. Employees must be taught recovery skills. And finally, recovery requires empowered employees. We have the power to deal with the customer. Third principle of effective service recovery system, how to generous should compensation be? What is the positioning of your firm? How severe was the service failure? Who is the affected customer? Finally, dealing with dissatisfied customers, both managers and frontline employees must be prepared to deal with distressed customers. Second, distressed customers include customers who become confrontational in unacceptable ways, may behave in an insulting manner towards service personnel who are not at fault in any way. Okay, let's take some examples about the relationship marketing. For example, Coca-Cola's Friendly Twist campaign. In a campaign launched in Colombia, Coca-Cola gave college freshmen bottles of Coke on their first day in campus. the caps of these bottles could be opened only by clicking them with another cap. So this encourages students to team up, encouraging conversations between strangers on their first day in college. The company played a crucial role in breaking the ice among freshmen. This initiative reflected Coca-Cola's brand image, which denotes the start of important friendship and of the sharing of joyful, long-lasting memories. Second example, the Hello Happiness phone booths. Coca-Cola also. Thousands of blue-collar workers from South Asia come to work in Dubai, for example, to provide for their families in their respective home countries. With earnings of $6 per day on average, these workers cannot afford to call their families abroad. So Coca-Cola opened Hello Happiness phone booths that allow such workers to make 3-minute calls to their home countries by exchanging a Coca-Cola bottle cap. For the workers, this move drastically elevated the image of Coca-Cola. Every bottle consumed within the workers' communities brought joy and hope to them, thus reinforcing Coca-Cola's image as an enabler of important human relationships. The last example is IKEA. The Swedish furniture maker, IKEA, has a global base of extremely loyal customers. When the company changed the font in their ubiquitous catalog, IKEA customers voiced their complaints via the internet. The company paid heed to these complaints by reverted to the original font in the next edition of its catalog. So this is how to take care of the customers' needs and complaints and how to recover them and so on. We have also the concept of the customer contact and services. We are talking about services, about hotels, restaurants, air flights, and so on. The customer contact is very important. A service encounter refers to the direct interaction of customers with a service provider. There are 3 different levels of customer contact, which represents the extent of interaction with the service personnel, physical service elements, or both. First, the high-level contact. High-level contact services tend to be those in which customers are required to visit the service facility. So customers are actively involved in the service organization and deal with service personnel throughout the service delivery process. Second, the medium-level contact. Medium-level contact services have less involvement of customers with service providers. They involve situations in which customers visit the service provider's facilities or are visited at home or third-party locations by the provider, but either do not remain at the same place throughout the service delivery process or have only modest contact with the service person. Lastly, the low-level contacts. The low-level contact services involve very little physical contact between customers and service providers. So interaction takes place through the electronic medium or via physical distribution channels. Sensitivity to customers' reluctance to change. Customers' resistance to change in familiar environments and long establishment behavioral patterns can affect various attempts to improve service productivity and even quality. So the management failure to look at such changes from the customer's viewpoint causes resistance. Managers of service operations should avoid such insensitivity towards their customers. Some of the steps to reduce customers' reluctance to change are follows. First, to develop customer trust, understand the customer's habits and expectations, pre-test new procedures and equipment, publicize the benefits, teach the customers to use innovative models, and promote via trials, monitor performance, and continue to seek improvements. So to summarize all this, the customer loyalty, in short, is the likelihood that existing and previous customers continue purchasing from the same company. Okay. The marketing and customer service departments of many companies spend significant resources on customer loyalty. It is important for them to retain the existing customers. And finally, there are many ways companies can boost customer loyalty, and they can maintain overall low prices by keeping the prices low. They offer multi-purchase deals like for the price of 3. They have special offers like 35% off all the ice creams this week. They can also reward customers with regular loyalty discounts, like 100 points mean $40 off your next purchase. So investing in customer loyalty is more effective than investing in new customers. Studies have shown that it costs significantly more to get new customers than to keep the existing ones. So this was our lesson today about customer loyalty. See you next lesson, inshallah. Goodbye and good luck.